Green Climate Fund, the world's largest climate fund, mandated to support developing countries raise and realize their nationally determined contributions, ambitions towards low emissions, climate resilient pathways. MADEC, the National Designated Authority, country focal point, ensure the implementation of Green Climate Fund Readiness Grant upholds country ownership. Tonga Development Bank, delivery partner, supports the country to implement the program and is responsible for services related to procurement of funds, for recruitment of project staff and consultants, travel, subcontracting, and they organize national workshops. Enters into a grant agreement, represents the government as a readiness grant recipient, facilitates negotiations, signing and execution of the project financing agreements, ensure the implementation of the procurement is carried out in accordance with the approved work plan and budget. Tonga Chamber of Commerce, the executing firm, with support of the PMU, manages and monitors project implementation activities, ensuring compliance with the government and DDB's requirements, especially DDB's procurement guidelines and safeguard statements. Tonga Chamber also coordinates with DDB on all project management activities, including community engagements. They also manage contractors, consultants, and suppliers. They arrange meetings with the private sector when necessary and at least quarterly, and review monthly progress reports that PMU prepares and endorses and submits to the private sector community. The government of Tonga is working with relevant stakeholders to address the impact of climate change through policy changes and by supporting private sector-led initiatives that contribute to climate resilience. The Kingdom of Tonga, like other small island developing states, is highly susceptible to a wide range of climate change impacts, including increasingly intense tropical cyclones, extreme rainfall events leading to flooding, coastal erosion, heat waves and drought, ocean acidification, sea level rise, natural hazards due to its geographical, geological, and socioeconomic characteristics. Tonga is currently classified as the second most at-risk country in the world in terms of its exposure to natural hazards and the unfolding effects of climate change. From 1999 to 2018, Tonga is ranked 15th of 181 countries in annual GDP losses due to climate-related disasters. Tonga, being a signatory to the UNFCCC and the Paris Agreement, has presented ambitious climate actions as part of its NDC. These ambitious efforts under the NDC and CHAINAP 2 will require resources and investments both by the public and private sector from within the country and from international sources. In view of the critical role played by the private sector in realizing the country's climate change plans and strategy, the government of Tonga, through MADEC, has continuously involved private sector in planning and implementing climate change initiatives. In order to realize the potential of private sector, these engagements need to be further strengthened. The private sector has an opportunity to deliver the investment needed to spur innovation and create thriving markets for climate, spanning across clean energy, sustainable transport, green infrastructure, or climate-resilient agriculture. Recognizing the challenge of financing Tonga's climate change, mitigation and adaptation actions, the government of Tonga has initiated and implemented programs to access climate finance and mobilizing investments in climate projects, including capacity development, to engage effectively with the Green Climate Fund over the long term. This Green Climate Fund Readiness Grant will build on the efforts and outcomes of previously approved readiness programs in Tonga. It will reflect achievements and lessons learned from readiness programs implemented by the Department of Climate Change, as well as climate change initiatives implemented by the government and other partners working in the country. The Green Climate Fund application and approval process has a structure that will channel your application through the following stages. There is the application process, which will include the generation of project idea, an option for developing concept notes, MADEC. Donors and DA may assist submitting concept notes. Submission of the proposal through the GCF's online application program. Green Climate Fund proposals may only be submitted by an accredited entity. After receiving your application, the GCF Secretariat will analyze your proposal. The Secretariat may also give recommendations to the applicant. A technical advisory panel will also be engaged by the Secretariat to assess your request against your organization's capabilities. Once finalized, your application is passed on to the GCF board, who will make a final decision based on the technical advisory panel's recommendations. If successful, your application's legal and funding arrangements will commence for your organization to begin their work. Visit tongachamber.to to find the latest on Green Climate Fund Private Sector Readiness Program.